Hello there, ladies, gentlemen, and unicorns. Welcome to a rather different stream today, because for one thing, you probably noticed that I'm streaming through a different position of the camera, because it is through my notebook, and this is also the reason why I'm having two mice today. Because, yeah, getting audio to work while getting an input stream to work with different cameras that also are audio sources and the microphone, it was a little bit of a hassle, but at least I think I got it down. It took me 2 hours for this elaborate setup, but I'm hopeful that it works. Let me see in the chat if everyone is able to hear me and able to see me, because otherwise I would be just moving around erratically for no reason. So, oh, look at this. I just got a notification that some guy on YouTube just went live. Isn't this great? Okay. And there's the email. Okay, so what I did to make this all work is my computer from which I usually stream is connected via HDMI into the laptop that gets its stream through essentially an external capture card, which looks like this. Oh my god, all those cables are too short. Oh look, I unplugged the HDMI. Isn't this great? Okay, I think I get it to work. Audio, Frank says, audio drops out every now and then, must be on your end. Is it a hair quiet, or is it just my audio system? Might be my audio system, but let me listen to it. Oh my god, everything is coming apart already. This is not good. But I tested it at least with recording. Maybe it's a little bit quiet, but then again, at least I hope any audio you'll be hearing from my audio system will be... Can I hear myself? No, of course I can't hear myself. Usually I don't have my microphone on my headphones. What was I thinking? I'm sorry. I had a lot of coffee, as is probably obvious. But this is why we're here. Because I thought, let's make some music. How hard can this be? So yeah. 2 hours. It takes 2 hours to set things up. Okay, let me switch over to this wonderful view. It worked! Because I have set up also my other webcam here that you can see me play around on the keyboard should it be necessary. The other thing is I have here also a guitar and my electronic bass. So I'm not quite sure what we're even going to do today, but I thought I'll share with you my process of making music. I think I will start as I always do, but just to show you, my process, and then we will more or less see the result of what I'm going to do. Let me see what's going on in the chat. So apparently everything is working. You can hear me, you can see me, which is great. And I already have the wrong mouse in my hand. What keyboard is that? That is an M Audio Code 61. The cool thing is it got this little X and Y thingy here. I saw this once in a Radiohead concert and I was just blown away because they had this big panel like this. But this is the cool thing about this M61 is it can do pretty much anything. You got here some knobs. You got here some sliders, and you got even here some pads in case you want to do drums. But sad thing is they're not very good. So I'm usually playing the drums there on the keys as well. I have a super tiny one with terrible action, so I want to get a new one. Yeah, this is great. This really feels for the price. I don't know what I paid, couple of $100. But it was about time. The one I had before was just this Casio keyboard, which also had MIDI out, which I had since 2000 or even 1999. So yeah, it wasn't up to today's standards, especially with Aftertouch and all those knobs that you can pretty much automate anything that you want in your DAW. Yeah, talking about the DAW, this beautiful thing here is Propellerhead's Reason, or as it is called, just Reason 11. They don't call themselves Propellerhead anymore because they only have one product and that was Reason, so figures that they had one reason to change their name. That was a terrible joke, and by the way, that was an airplane because as always, when I start streaming, the last planes of the day just pass by. Cool. So, if you're not familiar with Reason, I'll just give you a quick overview of what it is. Essentially, it's a DAW, but they don't say it's a DAW. It's a digital audio workstation, which means you can get any audio in, you can apply effects to audio, and the cool thing is this is what Reason is. Essentially, for me, my number one go-to is it got a lot of built-in instruments, and yeah, if I shelled out some money to add additional instruments, for example, like those FM synthesizers to get this 80s sound or the Sega Genesis sound, and some plugins of various things, and I think this is what we will do today. Okay, of course it got a mixer here, which is nothing new. Just let me show you. Whenever I add a new audio source, it just shows up here as one slider, and the cool thing is that yeah, it grows, and you can really scroll up and down and have anything from dynamics to equalization. You even got here some EQ curves for each channel should you want it or need it, and you can also have some send effects there, so it's pretty powerful. And of course, the coolest thing for me about Reason is this rack here, because this is where all your instruments go. And the coolest thing is once you hit tab, it switches to the back, and there you can pretty much wire it up as you would. And the most amazing thing is this physically dangling animation of the cables. So should we do some very elaborate stuff, we can just hook it up ourselves. Okay, so this is usually how I start things. It just got an empty master section, which is just this loudness meter, so that I know, especially when I'm doing stuff for video, that I keep everything at a certain level, but for now I don't think this is important to us. Then I got my standard plate echo or reverb there, and a room reverb that just usually for drums, just to give them a little bit more room, and a delay machine which works nice with synths. And yeah, I start everything with here my Radical piano, that's just a pop piano, and I even got an empty audio track. This is cool. From any external audio that pipes into those tracks, you can record onto those tracks and then apply effects onto them. For example, guitar amp or effects pedals, or a whole range of effects pedals and guitar amps, and pretty much anything. I've never had a physically guitar amp or effects pedal, because ever since I started making music, everything was just digital for me. So this is where I'm at home. So let's bring up now here the sequencer. This is just a timeline where everything happens, and you can see here any instrument has its own track here. And for now, can you hear me when I'm playing this? It should be audible, but I'm not getting any. Let me check it. For some reason, no. Technical difficulties. Isn't this great? Let me try again. Does it work now? I think. Yes, now it works. Okay, there's activity in the chat. Sorry if I'm looking straight ahead there. This is where usually my camera is, so I'm not that good at making eye contact today, I'm afraid. This is absolutely insane. There are so many controls, knobs, settings, adjustment, types, options, colors, and details. Yes! Isn't this great? You can do pretty much anything. That's a bingo. Wonderful. Okay, so the biggest problem that I had today with this elaborate setup here is that I'm experiencing some kind of delay. It's not so bad with the MIDI instruments, so pretty much anything that goes here through the keyboard. But as soon as I want to do something with the guitars or the bass, I might need to shift things around, and it probably will do a terrible performance because I can't play to the beat. I might get a new DAW myself soon. Should I get my Spectrum Next in a few years? There's a thing called Nextdoor to make music. Oh, the Nextdoor. I've heard of it. Yeah, it got 3 Yamaha chips or something. It's pretty cool what's implemented there. I also tried Studio One because they got these very snazzy synthesizers there. But yeah, since I've been working with Reason for 15 years now, and I've upgraded each time very devotedly. So I think, as for myself, I will stay with Reason, but I tried out others. And I also have the number one go-to for the low budget DAW is Reaper. Because I got some libraries for strings and effects and yeah, hits and certain yeah, the action strings. Mainly it's just strings and orchestra stuff, which doesn't work in Reason, but I think nowadays it should work because they support VST plugins, which is very neat. And maybe I can get a player there. I've never tried it actually, but this is usually I'm hooking up a Reason and Kontakt, as it's called, where my string libraries are that I purchased for good money. But today I think we're gonna do something synthy, maybe not, I don't know. So 8 bits is best. Oh yeah, in terms of course, I also a short shout out to, if you want to make something that's not only sounds like an 8-bitish style music track, but actually is an 8-bit music track, because many times I see on YouTube, which is just a pet peeve of mine, when people say, yeah, 8-bit remix of some song. Yeah, it's just the MIDI and they throw on some NES sound font, but of course it's not a NES, and you can really hear it that it wouldn't be possible to be played on the real thing. So if you want to have something played on the real thing, let me see if I can find it. There are a bunch of trackers out there. For one thing, there is Dave Lemask, this gnarly thing here, which is a tracker for it can pretty much do anything, but it's got this Yamaha sound chip, and if you want to do anything that sounds or works on a Genesis, you got here Dave Lemask. It's like I said, its main focus is FM synthesis, that is frequency modulation synthesis. But personally, I've never really, I've tried it a couple of times, but I've never really knew what I was doing there, because to me it was a little bit too complicated. But of course, you can change also your track from Genesis to NES, for example. But the other thing that is my go-to, or has been my go-to for years, is this wonderful thing here. That's the Femi tracker. And you can have here, it supports the Famicom, that is the NES, with a pulse, 2 pulse channels, a triangular noise, and a digital sample channel. But should you want it or need it, you can even have here some kind of expansion cards. For example, the Konami card, the chips that were inside the NES cards, that also supported some kind of FM synthesis for a couple of channels, or the Nintendo FDS sound, where you just had more channels to work with, and so on. So this is pretty powerful, and this is what I usually like to work with, because everything is very neat. For example, if I just make here a new instrument, it's very simple. You can just drag and drop, and there you go. But and one last tracker that I want to show you is the Goat tracker. If you want to make Commodore music, this is for the SID chip. I think if you have a physical SID chip on a card, expansion card, for example, the Catweasel card, I think this one really is able to hook up to the real synth chip that it sits on this expansion card. So you can either use the emulated version or the real version. And you got 3 SID chips. There's the wavetable and the pulse table. So everything is possible there with the Goat tracker. And the cool version, the cool thing about this version is, before 273 came out, which also is a couple of years back, but before this there was no mouse support, so you really had to have ingrained what the function keys were doing. But this is just a little aside for anyone looking to do some chip music, because there's a lot out there. Where's my Goat tracker there? And of course, the last thing, if you want to make some kind of Amiga tracker music, let me find it. Did I click it? I'm not quite sure I clicked it. Oh my god, that's huge. Oh, holy crap, what did I do? This is the Milky tracker, and apparently it just froze everything there. Or I can't, at least I can't get rid of it. Why can't I get rid of it? Yeah, this is the Milky tracker. It's called. I think it's freeware, and you can do any kind of mod stuff there. Mod is the tracker format for the Amiga. But how the hell do I close this? Okay, it's time for good old Task Manager. Milky Tracker. There we go. Bye bye. Registry editor. Why did I have the registry editor open? Anyway, I hope still some people are here. Oh my god, 10 concurrent likes. This is unusual. Thank you so much. I see new people there in the chat. Oliver also says, ever used Massive VST? I have no idea what it is. I have heard of Massive, but I'm not quite sure if I'm not switching it up with something else. 8-bit is the best. Reason is great. Yes. Oh, Space Monkey. Hey, Space Monkey. I barely made it, but I'm so glad I'm here. Hype. Thank you. Well, let's see about the hype. And also Red Hermit is there. Welcome, Red Hermit. You can unlock closing by paying the shareware license. Oh, really? Because that's... I mean, you're pulling my leg there, but it might be... it might be something like this, because there was the great shareware limitations. For example, there was this one program... I don't know what it was, but at first you could have it open for 10 minutes, then 8 minutes, then 4 minutes, something like that. Or other things would change random things in your files. I mean, people got really creative in hoping that you would spend some money for, I don't know, some shareware of a DOS text editor or something. Okay, so Disaster Piece, composer of Fez and other games mostly use Massive. Oh yes, I tried some Disaster Piece style music, and it was really hard getting it to work, at least back then when I tried it, because those sweeping synths there, they just didn't sound anything like it, probably also because of my lack of formal training or anything. But I soon gave it up, because man, Disaster Piece is something different. It sounds very dense, and also how hard could this be? Well, once you try it yourself, you realize that it's going to be hard. Okay, so let's start proper, I would say, because I've been yapping for 14 minutes, or what does YouTube say? Wrong mouse button. 18 minutes, I'm so sorry. So 18 minutes without any music in progress. So how do I make music? Well, first, coffee, or I only have a glass of water now, because you can probably tell that I had too much coffee today already. Okay. There are two fixtures for most or all, yeah, let's say most of my songs. That is a certain tempo and a certain scale, or a certain key. The tempo that usually I go for lies somewhere between 120 beats per minute or 140. Usually I go for 130, because it's not as fast as techno, which is traditionally at 140 BPM, at least back in the 90s when I started listening to some techno. That was too fast, because it got this oof, 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 oof. This is not the music that I want to make, because I'm always a bit more highbrow and I don't want to go for this very simple beat. On the other hand, 120 BPM, I mean, it's like every half a second. It's literally the clock, and this is a little bit too structured for me. Sometimes when I'm feeling crazy, I go at 135 perhaps, or 110, but usually yeah, I'm just land at 130. So if you're not familiar with how fast this is, I hope you can hear it. I can't hear anything, so probably you can't either. The click track, there we go. So this is how fast 130 BPM is. Okay, and the next fixture with my music at least is pretty much anything. I need to get this cable out of here. Pretty much anything is in D minor, because for one thing, it sounds very dark and very deep. This is what I really like, D minor. And on the other hand is I can play D minor without thinking too much which keys to hit or which keys not to hit. And if I want to do something uplifting, I go for C major, because I don't have to deal with any of those pesky black keys there. Usually I'm not much a fan of those, unless I'm playing some kind of blues scale or something. I'm not even sure if you could hear it or if the track was armed. I think it was. Anyway, so next thing that I start with is usually once this is down, I want to have some beat there, some rhythm already there. When I'm feeling crafty, I drop a new Kong drum designer where I can just play drums to the rhythm, which maybe this is sometimes what I really like, getting down with the drums and getting them sound really tight and really nice. At other times I just throw in a sample player that just loops the same drums over and over, just that I can get started with something, because it's really hard if you only have a click track and you want to evoke a certain feeling or something. Activity in the chat. I know from experience there's no such thing as too much coffee. Nobody said unicorn. Unicorn, you're right. Whenever I say unicorn, it's a drinking game. Drink some water to stay hydrated. And also that I'm not smacking too much. Several beers the night before. Okay, so nothing related to making music. And cheers, by the way. Okay, so like I said, I'm not quite sure where to go today. Is it more electronic or maybe something rockig? Rockig, this is very German. Rocky or rock influenced, or maybe something. You know what? I got some new instruments lately and I want to try those out. Let me just show you which ones I'm talking about. It's from Spitfire Audio. Let's just, drop it there below the Kong. And this is a VST plugin, so it opens another control, and there it yes, it's a little bit weird with audio plugins because some of them have their own kind of downloaders. It's pretty much like the Epic Store, Uplay, Origin. They all got their little ecosystem and you can only download from there. And of course you have to register and something. It's a little bit cumbersome. But the cool thing about the Spitfire Audio, at least those that I got here, they are free. You only have to sign up, of course, and give them your email address. But yeah, as you can see, got a lot of very interesting sounding. I really like those plucky sounds. So for example, let's try out the Moon guitar. Yeah, this is not the Moon guitar. Yeah, let's load the ensemble. And this sounds nice. Something like this. I mean, this already has a little bit of character. I like this. Maybe drop there, go up with the octaves there, so that you can see it there on the other camera. Hello, other camera. I really like this already. Maybe we can use this as a starting point. So what I need is now a rhythm. So I'm not using here the Kong drum kit. Instead, I will start with a sample player. I got here my classic drummer, for example. So let's just switch this out. And when I'm hitting the C key on the drummer, of course, there we go. Detroit Wonder. It just plays a drum loop. And you maybe can see here that it switches through different parts. So when I'm hitting C, it plays verse 1. I'm hitting B, it plays verse 2, and so on. So maybe let's go down to 110 BPM, that it's not too fast. The question was, am I making music for something or just making music? Well, something in between. Today I thought I'm just making music, but in the end, I always need music, especially for Ludum Dare videos, so sooner or later, if this sounds half decent, it will show up somewhere. Did you say what your musical background was? Piano lessons or just... Yeah, I never said what my musical background was, because I think I don't have any. I once had, when I was in grade school, I had recorder lessons. So just that I could read the basic notes, but that was pretty much it. But I've been, tinkering around and trying to teach myself guitar and keyboard and anything since, I think I really started thoroughly, and not just lending a keyboard from someone and playing around for half an hour. Seriously, I started around 1998, and from then it's just trying things out and listening a lot to music and trying to recreate stuff. And so far, at least, I'm at a point where I say most of the time, well, let's say half of the time, I know what I'm doing and where I'm going with it. But then, of course, sometimes you make happy little accidents and things go in a completely different direction. So, okay, you know what? Let's lay down just some rhythm there. So this is just the basis that I know, that I have something that I can try and play over. Let's change it a little bit. This is all just stand-in so that I have a little bit of variation there in my drums. I think this should be enough. Let's clean it up and use it as our bass track. So I will collapse this here. So what I'm doing now is just quantizing it, that every note lands on the start of a beat or of a measure. So I'm just going, or was it quarter notes, so that everything lines up nicely. And then I just pull it in so that I can loop it. So I don't need this one here. And this is the coolest thing here in, sorry, wrong one. In Reaper is Reaper Resolve Reason. I'm working with so many programs that start with RE. It's weird. So I'm just duplicating this one here, but does it land there on a full measure? There we go. So yeah, just that I have a couple, maybe 1 minute or so, or actually it's 2 minutes. So I think this should be good. Just that I have something that I can play over to. So we got something along those lines. Maybe it's still too fast. You know what? I will try to go down to 90. I think I will have it at a little bit higher and have it more plucky and a little bit not as grand there, where I just keep holding them for a couple of measures, but a little bit more intricate. And then I will apply, I think, reverb generously and just have it there as a backing. And then I think I will start laying down the foundation to it. Okay, let's try, and I'm just improvising there. Let's move this a little bit. I will just improvise there on the keyboard while I'm recording, and then we will see whether we can use it or not. Yeah, maybe this is already good. Of course, you could hear that I messed up a little bit in the middle there, but it's all good. It's all good. Let's just clean it up there. Again, I'm going to quantize it to 16th notes like this. And I don't need the channel aftertouch there. That is when I'm having just hit a note there and just pushing down on the keyboard. And this one actually records it, because for some instruments, especially synthesizers, you can drive some kind of controls with it. When after you hit the note, you're touching, still pressing down. So it's a little bit like a Wacom tablet, where when you draw and you push harder or softer, it makes a different sound even after you've triggered the note. Okay, let's hear it. Okay, this one started too soon. High level Saurus, by the way. And from there, it's okay if it loops. So I'm just cutting it up like so. And saving. So I'm just using this as a loop there and see how it plays. And I can disable now the click track. I like this, that it's a little bit delayed there. Oh, talking about delay, you know what? Let's mix in some reverb. Gives it a little bit more atmosphere. You know what? I will try a little bit of delay now. I like where this is going. And then it loops and starts all over. Okay, so let's give this track a nice name. Let's call it Moon Guitar. Wonderful. I think we're already off to a good start. Let me know what you think. But maybe what I want to do now is, before I'm starting with any kind of melody, is that I want to lay down some bass just to ground the whole thing, just to put it on a foundation essentially. So you know what, the American pop piano I won't need, so bye pop piano. And you know what, we could try, maybe if it's not too fast, I could try a bass line on this wonderful thing here. Just need to hook it up and hope we're not experiencing too many dropouts then. Audio and computers, it's always a hassle, especially if you use your computers for something more than just audio, because my workstation have to do pretty much anything from playing games to audio to programming to, editing videos, color grading, 3D, anything. So can you hear me on the bass? I hope so. Of course. Why can't I hear it? This is strange. This is strange. Why is my track not armed? Add track. Well, this is a track, isn't it? Damn it, already experiencing some kind of glitchy noise. If you can hear it, it's this ugly crackling sound there. This is probably because the buffer size is too small or too low. And what I usually do is just disable the sound driver for a second and then re-enable it. And then it cleans up. But sooner or later it will start getting this crackling again. So this is why I try to record it before this happens. So I can see in the chat that it's only on the left channel there, and I experienced this as well. So let's open our good friend, the sound control in Windows. So recording, microphone, Rocksmith Advanced. It's one channel. This is one channel. Listen to this device level. Yeah, this looks to be all right. But it's only on the left channel. Why? I don't know. Usually if I just have something there, probably because I panned it incorrectly. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, it was my fault. For once, it was not Windows Audio. You were lucky this time, Windows Audio. So, okay, I'm trying now because, as I've established before, I'm not good at music. At least I was never trained with it. So what I usually do is when I'm trying to find a bass line that works, I don't even know where all the notes lie unless I'm really counting there on the fretboard. So I'm just playing along with it, and it's more or less like a neural network. The longer I play, I will know what frets to avoid so that it doesn't sound completely incorrect. And I will also stand up when I'm doing this, because especially when I'm playing the bass, I can't do this really good when I'm sitting. So I'm just adjusting the camera there, or maybe like this, so you can see a little bit of where I'm playing. So yeah, let's give this a try. Sorry for the bad video quality. You know what would have been cool? If I tuned the bass before I started playing, huh? So mono input, there we go. Let's tune it first. Yeah, this is completely off. Of course, I'm not hitting any notes. There we go. Okay. This should work now better. Halfway got it, at least for now, for starters, but you can hear the sound card is already crackling again. So let's try this again with the things that I've landed on. Maybe it was up there. Sure if this is working, but still don't have an amp over it. So for now, I think let's just try and keep working with that and find a sound, and then I will keep working on this and play it for real. So of course I need to head over to effects, and there I get all my effects, and there is this great plugin. Where is it? The Softube bass amp. Yeah, let's disable now here the input. You can hear it, how just this little effect changes everything. I mean, it's very present. not happy with either of the presets, to be frank. You know, let's try something different. I will use an e-guitar amp now that it gets a little bit more gritty and dirty, just more fuzzy, and then turn the bass down that it just is there rumbling underneath everything. So instead of the, let's delete this one here and use a Bias FX chain there. This is also a very nice plugin where you can essentially create your own chains of effects, pedals, and amps. Oh, cool, there's still a new giveaway. This is nice. So, okay, let's listen to it while I'm playing around and hope the sound card doesn't crap out. So now that's something else. So do I have here any presets? Of course not. I reset my machine recently, so yeah, that's what I'm talking about, but this is way too loud. Okay, so let's disable the drive there and let's disable the delay. So now it's only the amp. But I also want to insert there, where can I add my effects? There we go. A noise gate right in front, that it doesn't have this whole hissing and rumbling there. Then next step is just taking the edge off a little bit. Where is an EQ? There's an EQ4, this should be enough. No, I don't want the effects menu. Yeah. I like this. Maybe give it a little bit more drive. That's too much. Now it gets a little bit of edge, but it's not too hard. Maybe it is. So let's go to the amp and turn down the treble, or maybe just keep a bit of the treble and the bass and yeah, the presence. Okay, it's crackling again, but I think I like the sound of this, and if it's not too strong in the mix, I think this could work. Let's listen to it with what I played before. Yeah, I think this should work fine. It's just way too strong currently. But this is good. I mean, we're not mixing right now. I'm just trying to get the individual tracks and instruments sorted, and then I really start thinking about how strong something should peek through the mix. What did I want to do? All right, turn down the audio track. Just call it bass 1. And let's try this again. This is as far as I could make it with this horrible sound setup there. But I think as a basis, I think we can start. The fuzz might be a bit too much. It might be, yes. But when the bass is around this strength, yeah, I'm undecided. But it's very present, absolutely, yeah. But now we can tweak it at least, so I start over there. Yeah, I think we're getting there. What do you think? Is it now still too strong? It feels a little bit muddled, actually. Just a little bit of fuzz. I think this could work. Yeah, I'm undecided whether I like the bass as it is right now or not, but I will keep it in. Maybe we could also exchange it for something else. Or you can keep the fuzzy bass sounds and make the drum sound fit it. Yeah, right, I didn't work in any way in drums, that's true. But before I start tweaking on the drums, I will try now to find some kind of melody in there, or what would work with the melody. I will just chop up the bass again, just that I can loop it again and put it underneath, so that I just can start building the sound of the piece there. Okay, I'm still in the drums instrument. Okay, yeah, let's try and find a new instrument. I'm not quite sure maybe whether a synth works or not, but let's pick some of those Pangea world instruments, because they're also very wood-based. Circle bells. Oh, there we go. I think this would work nicely with everything else. We got here the Alto Glockenspiel. Yeah. Whale drum. I really like those world sounds. Yeah, those are very chill and mellow, but it must be because it's this whole fifth harmony. Yeah, maybe this is a little bit too plucky, such as this. Kalimba, maybe. No, I want something that's a little bit more woody, down to earth. Maybe I got, what's this, Klang? Maybe. Oh, this was Klang. This is Pangea. Sorry. Wow. Okay, this sounds like a dulcimer. I think that's what it's called. I really like the sounds of this. Little wooden flutes. What is this? I'm not too much a fan of this. Struck grand piano, traveler organ. Traveler organ? That's nice, but not what I was thinking of. Pump reeds? Probably also not. Nope. Bizarre sitar. I think this could work, maybe. But for some reason, is it just me, or do you also hear it just on the left channel? Now it sounds a little bit more more centered, but for some reason this is it sounds a little bit off. Maybe not the bizarre sitar, harp guitar. We already have a guitar, a Moon guitar. Why not use a harp guitar? Also, it's this dulcimer thing going for it. Maybe it's a little bit too sharp in a sense on the upper end, but maybe I can just shave it off because I really like this. Listen to this. Now that's a thick sound. Kinderklavier. This is children's piano. Yeah, okay, it's a children's piano. You know what? I will go with a harp guitar and see how I can tease out a melody of this instrument there. So what will I do? Again, I will play just along with it and record along and see if there is something in there that's worth keeping. So let's... Sounds a little bit too similar to the instrument we already have, but maybe it can make it work. Some of these instruments really remind me of Tristram Village. I guess still have some dark presence inside. You know, that's funny. Maybe some of you know my track that I called Mists of Langkarden. I think that's what it's called. Let me just check there on YouTube while our washing machine is freaking out in the other room. We always put stuff on top and then we forget about it, and then once it starts doing its thing, everything just topples over and it really sounds like it's having a temper tantrum in there, and this is why we don't open the door. SoundCloud, there we go. It's called Mists of Langkarden. And when I started out with this, my inspiration also was Tristram Village from Matt Ullman. And this is where this went to, but I can hear now that the instruments are pretty similar actually. So yeah, let's try. First thing is that I will quantize it. Let the notes land where they should land. Let's try a different instrument. This is fun, but absolutely not usable for us. Acoustic sass. Of course, it's now too loud, but yeah, I'm not happy with any of those instruments, I have to say. But I mean, there got so many instruments there. Let's try and find something. Yeah, you know what? I will try those Klang tuned percussion things a little bit more. That's almost cute. No. Those work best so far, I think. Give them a little bit more depth, just a bit of reverb. It doesn't work as a main melody, as the lead vocal, in a sense, the lead vocal track. But so far, I think it works, at least for starters there. Just read the chat, make an industrial style song with that washing machine. Put some cowbells on top of that washing machine. Yeah, I've got a prescription. And no, I've got a fever and the only prescription is more cowbell. I think that's completely murdered that joke. I really like where this is going, but for now I'm not quite happy with the bass line. It sounds at the same time, I'll just hit the keys there. At the same time, it sounds too strong or too aggressive and still too subdued in a sense. So yeah, I will just try to play with it, maybe record it again. Or yeah, I mean it's pretty intense, right? You know what? I will make an alternative track. Where is it? Alt. There we go. And try different. Maybe I will use the amp that is actually made for bass and not try. I need to go to effects and not try again the amps for the guitars. This is what I meant to say. So maybe not both. Okay, so now I'm having an E-guitar effects chain and then piping it through a bass amp. So no. So this is just the bass. Let's start with a preset. I always like to start with presets and just take those as a starting point and then jump off and line punchy fingering. This sounds good. Damn it, man. It really doesn't like me doing this kind of thing. Maybe I increase now the buffer size. Maybe this helps. I don't know. Of course, the bigger your buffers are, the more latency you get, and they're already experiencing some latency by going through this whole chain there into my laptop, but we'll see. We'll see. So I'm just trying to play it again with this amp. What? Just got a different idea. Why not tune my bass differently? Just put it on drop D or something that it's much easier to play. Tichomir Dunlop writes, what program are you using? This is Propellerhead's Reason. I'm sorry, it's Reason Studios, Reason 11. It's quite cramped now in this full HD configuration, but I think it's still possible to work with this. Okay, so let's tune there my bass differently. So I'm going from E down to D. There we go. And also take the second string from A down to G. There we go. I think this should work there, at least for this. So let's try this again, whether I had the right thinking. Wow, it's already crapping out on me. I'm really sorry for all those audio hiccups there. hitting the wrong notes. Sure when I'm down there which note to it. Oh, I'm sorry. You probably want to see a little bit where my fretting is. Trying to find the right bass melody. I'm sorry this is taking so long, but this is usually where I spend a lot of time because I really want to get the foundation of the song right, because everything for me, everything evolves from the bass line. And of course the rhythm. Man, my tongue. But I think now the bass sounds not as aggressive and still very present. How much do you know about music theory? As you probably can see, not a lot. Not a lot. Most often I really try to get into it with some books like The Idiot's Guide to Music Theory. I thought I can't go wrong with that, but man, I'm much a bigger idiot than they ever assumed I was. So yeah, I try to do some of those exercises there, but I'm really not good at it. Let's give it a bit more drive. Always want my bass with a bit of drive, but that's quite aggressive. But yeah, let's see if I can make this work. And I'm really sorry for hitting all the wrong notes most of the time. You know what? Maybe let's try this camera there. Oh, this looks nice. This looks like it could work. Okay, again, I'm trying there just to find the right bass line. Already wrong note. Since I tuned my bass now to drop D, all my instincts are wrong when I'm trying to do the fretting, so I have to relearn the fretboard now again as I'm playing. So again, I'm sorry, but I really want to get this right. I think I'm onto something there. Let's try this again. Man, I hope I just don't forget it now. I forgot it. Shit. Almost there. Almost there. I think I'm almost closing in. And the sound driver is crapping out again. I'm not happy. I'm always getting stuff wrong. You know what? I will try it once more and then pick whatever I end up with, or at least I can chop it up and get it to work that way. A little bit frustrated now. Damn it. At least I'm getting closer. Come on, Phil, don't blow this. Thank you, Audio Driver. Thank you very much for absolutely nothing. Let's try this once again. I'm not hearing anything. Why not? Oh. I disabled there also. Ah, crap. This is so frustrating. What do you think is the issue? I have ideas, but I don't want to influence you. Crackle, yeah. I think my problem is that I'm always, when I'm getting into a flow or something where the chords come just natural, I just switch off my brain and with my instincts and let my fingers go, but because they are so much used to D tuning, or not D, the standard E tuning, they hit the wrong notes, and yeah, everything is just a problem with me. Also, yeah, it really shows that I haven't played bass in a couple of months, actually. This is why it was so detuned. yeah, you know what, let's keep this and just chop it up, the bits and pieces that work, and just assemble them anew and just strew them all over the place. Yeah, I think at least for now this is okay to work with. Usually with me it's once I really start getting towards finishing a song, then I realize how bad stuff there is, and then I also know what I exactly want the melody or the bass line or whatever to be, and then I can just play it anew in a way that works and not just is bits and pieces. Okay, oh, Inkti is there. Hi Inkti. So let's try now and work a little bit there on the drums. This is nice. I got a knob that reads dry, fresh, deep, hip, or fat. It's a little bit too strong now, the drums. I will try now also to work on the quantization of the drum, of the bass. If it, the problem is because it's so deep, you can see here in the waveform where Reason detects a change or a new note there, because it's so deep. I mean, I'm just playing a fourth or eighth. Oh man, those th those th words. But it thinks there it's 16th or even 30 seconds notes. So this is wrong. So I can't properly quantize this. So where are my drums? Drum a little bit stronger. It sounds a bit weird actually. Don't you think that the drum sounds wrong in some way? You know what? I give them some more reverb. That's a bit too much, actually. Yeah, something along those lines. And then I will, in the mix, turn down the bass a bit. Like I said, shave it off a little bit, its aggressiveness. And I will do this with an EQ. That it's not as aggressive and just puts a nice bass there underneath everything. It's a little bit flat in places, but this is usually because with when you have the strings tuned that low, even across an octave, sometimes you can't be right 100% of the time. But I think I like this. I like this where this is going. I'm already a little bit sick of it, but this is because we've been hearing it for an hour now. But overall, I think this has potential. So let's close the bass there. Do I want to chop it up? Yes, maybe I want to chop it up. but I didn't pay a lot of attention now where to chop it up because I was just looking at the mix. You can see there I'm very aggressive with my equalization, especially for the bass. Usually have a low pass filter where I cut off everything that's above 4000 hertz, or even starting there around 2000, because I don't want all those sliding on the frets on the strings actually to be audible. So the bells are quite nice. For some reason, everything sounds a bit too aggressive. You know what? Let's try something to give it a bit more depth, and I'm thinking of some kind of pad or synth just to have it slowly evolve. On the chat, Tichomer says, are you going to use this for a game soundtrack? It sounds like a really good loop. Maybe, at least as a foundation for something. For me, usually it's in one of my Ludum Dare videos, I will use it for one thing or another. Maybe this one could work, again, very nicely with a time lapse of just being in there and being in the zone and doing some work. But I think, yeah, you never know. I usually produce for the drawer, as I say, because I make something, then put it in a drawer or the digital equivalent of a drawer, and maybe I use it in a year or two or never again. But I got hundreds of those just sketches or even finished songs that I haven't used for anything. But as time goes on, once you look back at a song that's older than 4 years, you think, that sounds like shit because I've evolved so much. At least now I'm feeling that I'm getting some kind of plateau where I'm not evolving as much as I did when I first started out, because I mean, of course, this is what happens when you start doing something and you get your first success. Then everything, you have one success after the other and you feel that things are really going fast. But at a certain point, especially for myself, I never have any kind of training or with it, so I'm just feeling that I'm just easing off in my learning curve at some point. But I'm still making progress in some way, and this is great. So I really try to mix things up and not do it as I always do. So maybe one day I will leave the comfort zone of D minor. Who knows? So, okay, for some sweeping synths or just sweeps in general, let's try the Humana vocal ensemble. Maybe this is some choir. Sounds a little bit artificial, but yeah, who cares? Yeah, well, I care actually. Give it some more. Okay, when I go too high, it sounds very fake, but up to that point, it could work. Soprano A dressed or A natural. Okay, this. With choir, it's so very hard that it doesn't sound synthetic, as this one very much does. Alto. God, this is horrible. Okay, I think this could work. This could work. Let's try it. I'm not recording. Is way too strong, too loud, and not in the wrong key. I'm sorry. I mean, it is in the right key, but it doesn't fit at all, I think. So you know what? Let's go in some way digital. You know what? Let's try some wonderful 80s synths. This is Let me show you one of my favorite synthesizers, the PX7, which is a rip of the Yamaha DX9, I think. Holy. Let me turn down the reverb on this. The cool thing about this, the Yamaha DX9, this was a very famous FM synth, and the Sega Genesis sounds very much like it. I mean, it also got a Yamaha FM synth chip in there. And the cool thing about this is, I mean, this preset there sucks. It's called Speaker Bleeder. I mean, go figure. But the cool thing about this is you can load in Yamaha DX9 patches, actually, because there was some tool where you can convert those, and since the 80s there have been hundreds, because you have those little floppy disks you could stick into the actual synthesizer and to have some patches there. So let's go to my resources there, and where do I have it? Samples, is it refills? Synths, maybe there, DX7. The 200K collection. No, I'm using this Kosh-Dukai Slim version. I don't know who Kosh-Dukai is, but they did a great job of just selecting them and trimming them down, because this 200K selection of 200K presets, it's not organized in any way. I think it's just organized by 1, 2. There are lots of duplicates there, and yeah. So this is why I'm going here to the DX7. Oh, it's not the DX9, of course, it's the DX7. I'm sorry. So let's try and find something there. The funny thing is, nowadays we are very happy that it sounds very synthy and fake, but back in the day, of course, you wanted to recreate authentic sounding instruments, and before we had this wavetable synthesis or even sample-based synthesis, yeah, there was this real I feel like obsession to have something sound as much as the real thing as possible. For example, there a tuba or trombone. This is the tuba or the trombone. Hard trumpets. I mean, you can hear the sound that it sounds like a Sega Genesis or an Adlib sound chip. But this was FM as a frequency modulation synthesis. But what I want now for some kind of sweep more, let's see if I made some presets. This is where I keep all my presets. PX7 bass of general purpose. Yeah, sounds like a bell lead, bells, lightspeed bass, strings pad. Maybe this one. Yeah, this sounds like a strings pad. Space, the final frontier. Let's gussy it up a bit with where are my strings? There they are. With reverb. Now they sound pretty wide, so maybe it's too much, but let's try it. Fit, does it? Okay, let's try something completely different, or at least a completely different instrument. This is one of my all-time favorites. It's the Thor polyphonic synthesizer. This one is great because it got so many things you can tweak. There is it. This is the Epic Poly. Not too very fond of this, but with this synthesizer I try to recreate the famous Juno 6 and Juno 6 Plus synths, digital instruments from the 1980s. Where are my presets? Resources, presets, Thor. There we go. So those are my Thor presets, and you can see there are quite a number of them. So 80s Pad Swell 2. This sounds swell. Pad Foreigner. Yeah, I recreated some 80s pads from 80s bands. Poly A. Christ. Even get a Game Boy Square. Even recreated the F-Zero synth for Big Blue. Howling synth, no. Juno Runner Plus. Maybe this could work, I'm not quite sure. Vangelis Thor. Wow, okay. Maybe it's too strong. Let's take the cutoff out a bit. Man, this is so 80s. I love it. Let's make it a bit more sweeping. I like this very much. Let's keep the decay and the sustain a bit longer. Now we're at 80s romantic songs. So I'm not quite sure whether this works with this song here or not, but let's give it a try. Actually not too bad. Pad doesn't work, but until up to that, it's quite okay, I would say. It's quite okay, at least this part here. Just doesn't have to be too present. Just copy it over there, let's see if it works also on this part. It does, just a bit too strong. Let's copy the bass over there, that it just loops. This is how it sounds without our Moon guitar. Because maybe I don't want to keep it playing all the way through. I mean, it got a nice sound to it. Maybe a bit too much for the duration of the whole song, so I might disable it or just mix it up in some places. Yeah, the drums are just all over the place, but yeah, let's try it there. I I feel we need a guitar. I feel I just had an inspiration that it would sound very nice with a very airy electric guitar. Good thing is that I got one here, and I'm also pretty sure we also need to tune it. Where is my pick? Even it's been a long time since I last played it. Oh, that sounds horrible. It sounds horrible, but let's add a new audio track. Plug in the guitar and tune it. Holy crap, this should be E. You can hear that I haven't played this one in a couple of months. Yeah, this works. And this is the most fun part, getting the guitar to sound like this wide 80s thing. So, but this VST plugin, where is it? Positive Grade there. It got me covered. This is the default one. I think it's called, what's it called? Not Vangelis. It's called Arsenal or something. Oh, the wrong one. Where is it? There we go. Factory Arsenal. Okay, this is a bit too wide, but let's start with 80s metal. Man, there's a lot of delay on this one. It's really hard to play. So I'm not quite sure if I can pull off a nice solo. But this is a little bit too strong. Let's start with USA metal, 80s metal, Fat Fuzz, Rage in the name. You know, they can use band names, but they really try to get as close as they can. Sweet Kid. Oh yeah, let's have the guitar cam there. Yeah, let's try this one. I mean, this is really hard on the reverb. And I turned down the bass now because, of course, the bass in the Spectrum is already our bass sits there, so no need for the E-guitar to also have a lot of bass there, because this only muddles the mix. This is why I try to keep things separate. Yeah, the gate is there. Yes, it works. It only crackles a little bit. And now I will add the reverb here in my mixer. Where is the guitar? There it is. Lead guitar. Lead guitar. I might take the edge off again, also of this one. Mixer, there we are in the rack. Usually my window configuration is completely different, because right now I'm trying to make it all fit in this one screen there. Usually I have it on 3 screens. This is why I'm always searching for the window where I want to go. So this must be the base if I'm, or no, this is the one where we are. Yeah, this sounds a bit nicer. A bit nicer. And now I'm just trying to improvise over it, over the chords, and see where things are headed. I'm sorry if any one of you has already, I want to say left, but they probably wouldn't hear it. So I want to say thank you for still sticking around with me, trying to explore where we are going with this. Fun. But maybe I'm too low anyway. Maybe I need to put this higher. The crackle is back. The crack is back. Where's the camera? The crack is back. But I think there's a nice melody in there. Oh, hi, oh papi. Yeah, something along those lines. I think this could work. At a certain point I don't hear it anymore. But it's the more tracks that are playing concurrently, the faster it starts. Yeah, crackling. I tried again increasing the buffer, but like I said, it's the delay is too hard then to play for me. Why am I not hearing anything? Of course, because I selected a different sound card. By the way, this is how the sound driver that I'm using is called ASIO for All. And this is, ASIO has always been this very low latency sound driver. And this is pretty much a digital crossbar in a sense where I can say, yeah, I want my output to be on this sound card, but my input to come from the other sound card. And it also tries to mitigate for any kind of delay and inconsistencies in terms of timing, which usually it does great, but I think it's just that my old sound card is, I mean, my Sound Blaster is from 2004 and I still have it even in this new machine, so yeah. So no, I'm not using the Sound Blaster X, just switch it off. I'm using high definition audio. Yes, and we can hear it. Good. And this is where we start. Maybe take this as it is. But yeah, I will try to play this, to give this one more try. And increase the audio buffer samples. Give it 4 kernel buffers. Maybe this helps. Or it completely breaks it. Wrong string. I started on the wrong string. It's like programming. What is wrong with this sound driver today? It's having a very bad day today because, of course, as soon as I'm streaming, everything starts acting up. Okay, let's increase overall buffer size to something naughty. It's over 1,000. Maybe this should help. Again, I'm sorry why this is not why, but that it is taking so long. Sorry. I'm having the problem that as soon as when I'm losing myself, I start getting into, I don't know, 1980s stereotypical metal leads. Something like this. But overall, I'm not too happy with this solo there, but for now it can stick around. Maybe if I do something, I find something better. This is bad there. Sorry, I don't like it anymore, actually. Block. No, I don't want to do block editing. Block editing is, just as an aside, is quite helpful because especially if you're doing electronic stuff where there's a very rigid pattern to everything, so you can make a block for this is the intro, this is the verse, this is the build up, this is the bridge, and then you can just chop it up and disable certain tracks in the blocks. And this is where you can literally block out a song, which is something that I should be doing, but since it was introduced after Reason, I don't know, 5 or something, and I started with it before, I'm an old geezer and I don't like when things change. And this is why I don't use it, but maybe I could use it. But I think it's a neat idea, but it's just not for me. I give this one last try, but you know what, maybe later. I'm trying not to play chords for some reason, but this doesn't work out. I already had it before. I already had it, and now I'm just playing anything. What is wrong? What is wrong? I think I've lost inspiration for today. Or it's the pig. Okay, now it's crackling again. I'm not sure if this if this works. But let's try something else. I mean, right now the song is just going about itself. I mean, it's just this one chord where everything is rooted on. Maybe I should do a different chord when we start here in the middle, so that just it breaks it up a little bit. But I really like, you know what? Maybe let's don't do this. Okay, let's disable the guitar there. Because I like now how everything is just, the song is minding its own business, as I like to say it, when everything is just steady on the same chord and just moving around it, but not trying to change it. This works very much for something that is meant more as an accompaniment, is this the right term? Where the song is not to be supposed to stand on itself in the middle, it's just trying to underline things. And this is, I think, where this song is headed. I will try now different instruments, maybe something will come out of this. Most of the time it's just experimenting and see what you can come up with. Let's drop in a Europa shape-shifting synthesizer, because this one is weird. It's way too loud, of course. In the rec, where is it? There we have it. And let's pick another preset and see what sticks. 3PO keys. The case of my Switch as a tripod, essentially, so yeah, maybe this works. We already had this. 90s Polytechnic. Yeah, not too happy with those. Polysynths. You know what, let's try going up and find some textures. Let's go with Clockwork Mayhem and see whatever the hell this is. That's Mayhem. Let's not pick this. It's nice, but yeah. You know what? No, let's pick one of my trusty resources. Where do I have my presets? Let's see if we can dig up 80s Juno SC. What the hell? Oh, it's got a lot of missing sounds, so let's not pick this one. Oh, by the way, I just found the Doom Machine. The Doom Machine is something crazy, because let's try this out and see if the computer survives it. Because there was this talk by Mick Gordon. Was it Mick Gordon? The composer for the latest Mortal Kombat, and who also did the new music for the new Doom. Well, new, it's from not See how old I am. From 2016. And he talked at length about how he made the music. And he also even lined out what kind of effects chain he used. Essentially, where is the Doom Machine? By the way, this is the Doom Machine. Let me just open it. Why can't I open it? It should open. Why doesn't it open? Doom Machine. There we go. Okay. Oh, probably I need to say show devices. There we go. So this is this insane barrage of effects pedals. Is pretty much, I tried a big, from his talk, he talked which effects pedals in what chains he used. And it wasn't comprehensive, but I tried to recreate it roughly. You can't completely because there's a lot of analog feedback involved. But it's just a sine wave, and it gets sent through this crazy, yeah, like I said, crazy barrage of things. And I think it almost works, but since it relies so much on analog feedback, it doesn't actually work there in the digital realm, because if you have too much feedback, you can't switch it off, and it just gets louder and louder and louder until you're in a buffer overrun. But I don't know where I wanted to go with this. It's just that sometimes more is more and not less is more. Okay, so what do I have here? Ness square articulated. What the hell? Yeah, okay, it's a Ness triangle. Yeah, this is all very nice, but not fitting what we want. Bad Robot probably won't work either. So Kong grain to have some tiny tunnel slug. That's probably not something I can work with. Combinator. Oh, this is where we just were. Lake on Jupiter. Maybe this sounds nice. Lake on Jupiter. This sounds... Okay, this is more techno. Yeah, it's not good. This is not good. You know what? I will turn down the mixer volume that we are not getting our ears pierced by my horrible presets. A monotone latex repatch. Oh, this is the... I really love this sound, but it's more for electronic stuff. Maelstrom. Genesis guitar. Yeah, sounds more like an Atari guitar. A Guitari. I want you know what, let's go back to Thor and see if there is something that I can use. Indie game version 2. You know what, maybe this could work nicely. Apparently I made this after playing a lot of FTL and listening to Ben Prunty's soundtrack. Let's see if this could work. Maybe? Maybe. It's very wide. I hope I recorded it. Yes. Let's tweak this synth a little bit. Now it sounds like a 90s engine game. Is this too much? Maybe I take out the chorus. Let's try didgeridoo wave sample. No. I think this is very nice so far. It's a bit too loud. Now it needs a little bit of a punch, because I think this is our hook now. I really like where this is headed. Turn it around. Wasn't expecting this. Maybe I delete the aftertouch there as always. Yeah. Now it feels like there's something missing, and this is good because then we know that we found our hook. Those are the Konami bells from the Konami logo. Space wave lead. What is this? It's loud, that's for sure. It down. It sounds a little bit too much like our lead there. Sure. 80s Falco. That's 80s. Scratchy lead. No, it doesn't work. Bleep Star, maybe. I'm just trying out my presets because I'm not quite sure where I want to go with this. Classic Moog synth, why not? Why not? Yeah, that's the classic. That's really the old classic. It needs something, right? Poly A. Let's try out some more 80s presets I made. Okay, I think now it's time for the preset that I created almost 10 years ago, which I called the Softron 2. And this is my most prized preset because I've been using it so often, because I feel that it fits so many musical themes or moods, essentially. So this is how this Softron sounds. And that's it. And I feel like you could, it's got a very royal, in a sense, feeling to it. So it always works. Just works. I have no idea why, but it always works. This is insane. Okay, and you know what? I will try now again doing something with the guitar, and I think then we'll call it a day. And listen to the, well, whole track. Well, it's not a whole track, but it's something. Okay, now bringing back the guitar. It's clearly that it doesn't fit the same mood. Unless I played on the lower end. Okay, this is where I will start this track. Crackle, okay. This is horrible. This is horrible. But at a certain point, I just try to hear or listen between the crackling. Because the good thing is the recording itself doesn't suffer. It's only when you're trying to record and listen to it back. It's horrible. So I think I will start there again. Where is my control panel? There we go. Rocksmith USB cable. By the way, this is a Rocksmith USB cable with which I plug in. Okay, let's not tease our luck any further before it starts to crackle. But I think this could work. This sounds very nice. Maybe on this less is more, like where it's going. Yeah, less is more. But sometimes more is more. the guitar is slightly off because there's so much delay going on between when I play it and when I hear it. But maybe we can fix it there by trying to quantize it to 16th notes. Oh no, it gets worse. But maybe like this. This is what I wanted to avoid. But this, I think here it should work. Now it's on the beat and not just slightly behind it. The problem is if I shift it, it's not always behind the beat because I try to adapt a little bit in places and then it's just shifting. Man, this is so 80s. I love it. Okay, I can do this manually here for the final part. Okay, I think I got it down. I think this is nice. Let's bring the bells back in again. It's missing something now at the end. I think this song works best with a fade out because it's just trickling along, like I said. But I think it's not so bad for how many? 2.5 hours? I haven't checked. Where's my other mouse that I can check? Yeah, 2 hours and 10 minutes. Interesting, feels longer. It's not so bad for 2 hours, don't you think? So what do we have here? The Juno lead doesn't do anything, so I just delete it there. And the first bass I delete. We're not going to keep this one. And I'm just thinking maybe we can have something there in the beginning that's either building up a little bit or saying, yeah, we're all in now. This is the hook. This is the beat. This is where this is headed. But I don't think that we have actually at this point. So I'm just trying to make it a bit prettier here. Maybe we can start here. Without the bass in the front. I like this, but the bass starts for some reason a bit too late. Probably because, yeah, I'm not playing on the beat thanks to the delay, which sucks. And I can't even properly try and stretch it out, like I said before, because it's just so low in pitch. I don't like this here. Let's hear this part again. Verse. Very nice. End of the verse. And there we go. That's the chorus again. I think we got some kind of structure in there. At beat 31, I think it needs something more that it really, I don't know how to say it, spice it up or grease it up anymore. Man, my analogies really don't make sense. But I want to make it a little bit thicker, give it a little bit more oomph. Oh my God, I sound like the people when I'm at work. As you know, I work as a colorist, so I'm doing just working with colors. And when people say it needs more oomph in the colors, you know what I mean? And I say, yes, I know what you mean. And I do anything that I feel that I want to do because they can't articulate it. And this is where I am now. I can't articulate what I mean, but I hope I can show you that you can hear what I mean. Sierra Nevada, what the hell is this? It just needs something there at beat 31 where it really starts picking up. Sierra Nevada, I have no idea for what I needed this for, but I think it was inspired by Fallout Las Vegas. Root Zone. No, this sounds like a bloatfly. DX hit. Okay, yeah, this is a hit, but not a good one. Maybe something plucky, something light. Light speed bass. Yeah, this is the bass of my song, Lightspeed. And I think it really starts like this. Bells, maybe bells. Mic. Why is this mic? Strings pad. Yeah, we had this before. Drums, Tetris drums, reverbs, scales, and chords. Scream. This is the distortion preset. Subtractor. Matrix synth. What is Matrix? Yeah, this is a little bit plucky, but no, not the one that I'm thinking of. Lake and Jupiter Combinator Europa 11. What is 11? Oh, this must probably be some kind of Stranger Things synth. Maybe this could work. Maybe some good old Cannon Fire. Christ, no. Soft Ice. Oh, I think I used this for the soundtrack in Ludum Dare 45. Thanks for nothing. Ludum Dare 45 Postmortem. I will try it now with this one here, the 11 pad, but I will tweak it a bit. For one thing, make it louder. And then let's Perlin noise. I want it to be a bit more plucky. Now it's less plucky. The envelope is just taking too long. Yeah, why not? Let's try it with this. Got it. We don't need this thing here. We need a good old arpeggio. So I need a different. Like I said, I still need something plucky. And let's go into my Thor library. This is delightfully plucky, and I get here some kind of player, as it's fittingly called, and we get here a dual arpeggio. So I'm just holding down a chord, as you can see there in the other camera view. And it makes this nice arpeggio there, but I don't need the other one, only need this one. Direction up. I can also create here some kind of pattern should I want to. But actually, yeah, let's keep it very simple. And let's hit 4 notes that it get a nice, arpeggio that doesn't get offbeat, but maybe, you know what, I don't know, maybe we will mix it up a bit. So I said it's bar 31. There's the solo. Okay, I think this works. It's not overly present, but it gives it a little bit of nice flavor. Cool. So let's just make sure that it's always 4 notes playing concurrently, and I start here with 3 and then 2 notes. So this is exactly what I wanted to avoid. So, but first let's quantize it to 16ths. Are 5. This is wrong. Yeah, it's just cleanup stuff there. Sometimes I spend more time cleaning up than actually playing, especially with this Seinfeld recreation that I did, because it's not Seinfeld in the Ludum Dare 45 postmortem, but I wanted it to be this close to copyright infringement as I could get it. It's a different key, it got different chords and so on, but yeah, it sounds very much like Seinfeld. And I nudged a lot of the notes around here in this sequence of you. here the pad. And here I think we should start the fade out. And for this I can show you some neat trick there. In Reason, especially when you have connected something like this control surface there, you can pretty much right click on anything and say edit remote override mapping, and then touch anything there on the keyboard. For example, I'm just to show you, I will take now, which one, this knob here, and as soon as I move something, or even if it's the other knob, you can see here it updates which control number it has here. So now I say I want to control 77, and then I hit OK, and then I can say edit automation, and then I can record it. And as you can probably watch here, when I'm pulling this down here, well, now as soon as I touch it, it overrides it, and now I can control the entire mix like so. And like I said, this works for any control within Reason, which is very great, because essentially you can just build yourself whatever control set you need to get something to work, and also very easily tweak a certain sound. Okay, so we start here, and then just I delete here now my elaborate slider work, and just have it a very linear fade out here towards the ending, starting from here. Usually I would do this in post, but for now, I mean, it works nicely even in Reason, and I could show you how this nice slider automation works. So how long is our song? It's 3 minutes and something, which is longer than I would have expected. But of course we're starting there at, what do we start? 5 seconds in. I'm not too happy with the drums, but I think we can go now ahead and do some mixing. And I'm still having there the guitar on my lap, which is now getting a little bit heavy. Man, so many cables, so many cables. Yeah, this setup, like I said, it took me 2 hours to set up, and I'm very happy that I got it to work. And I'm even happier that I ran over the cable with my office chair. No, I'm even happier that I have at least made something, that was the bass, made something that is not complete crap. Okay, as for mixing, once on Twitter, I read a wonderful article on how to do your mixing. Essentially, it says, make everything mono, because then you will hear much better where something is in the mix. I really have no idea about mixing other than I go for what sounds good. So essentially, my goal is to have the instruments individually be recognizable, or at least that there aren't treading on each other's toes in a sense. So that, for example, like we had before with the e-guitar, that I cut off pretty much all of the bass part of the e-guitar, because I don't want it to muddle the bass line of the bass. Yeah, I think this is redundant, much redundant. But I think you know what I mean. So essentially we're just carving out a little trough in the spectrum for each instrument, that you can clearly hear it, but that it overall sounds not muddled in a sense. And for this I use this wonderful Spectrum EQ. You can get it here in Reason. Let's close the sequencer and the rack, just that we can have this wonderful this wonderful mixer controller here. And you get this nice little Spectrum EQ by just hitting this button here, and whatever track I select, I will see here the equalizer curve. So like I said, let's turn everything to mono. This is by turning down the stereo width to 0, which will sound probably like crap, but it's all cool. We're doing mixing. We're mixing stuff. Maybe I need the sequencer after all, so that I know where I am in my my song. But I can zoom it like this. I can make it really small. Just don't need that where we are. So, okay, let's start here. Okay, let's make this soft tron. Give it this little space there in the mix. Now let's have a look at the bass again. This works well. The Moon guitar, I completely ignored it so far. I make it more plucky by just emphasizing the high end. I go back a little bit just to hear it. So where are my bells? They are here. Of course, they don't need any low end. Maybe the Moon guitar needs a little bit still, yeah, like this. The indie game already sits quite well in the mix, I would say. Since Softron and indie game are usually concurrent in the mix, I really need to pull them apart a bit more. So where is the arpeggio thing? It's the fat 80s bass. Bass, I'm completely brushing it against the grain by emphasizing its high end. So where is our guitar? It's a bit too loud. I think sounding very nice. I want to hear a little bit more of the guitar. This is why I'm still toying with it. I have this tendency to make the bass too loud usually, because I like it when it really has this strong, warm, foundation. And now the fade out starts. Okay, I think this works nice. The other thing is when you try to do some mixing, usually you would think louder is better, but actually there's sometimes where is it this button where you can dim it everything down by 20 decibels, so you hear it much quieter than you usually would, and this is very good to get some wispy instruments still back in the mix that you wouldn't hear as soon as something gets a little bit more diminished. There we go. That's a dim minus 20 decibels. So if it still sounds clear at this volume, I think then you're good. So I think at this point I can turn it up again and make everything stereo again. Now it's a bit more wide. Cool, I think we're done here for today. I already lost some viewers, but maybe afterwards I will try to untangle my cable from my headphones. You know what, let's give this plucky sound a little bit, turn it a little bit more to the left and the indie game a bit more to the right, and make it even a bit wider. What I usually refrain from doing is giving the drums and the bass too much space or panning. Okay, I haven't touched the drums actually. Also got some nice texture to them. And let's save this. And I think I'm done with this. Please tell me how did you like this overly lengthy stream with over 2 hours? But I think since we started with nothing, we got quite somewhere. Do you want me to put a link to download this, or at least a link to listen to this on SoundCloud, or do you prefer not to because you already are sick of it because you've been listening to the same chords for over 2 hours? Please let me know, because usually when I'm done with the first draft of a track like this, I let it sit for a day and not listen to it at all. Because when I come back, I mean, right now it's ingrained in my brain, but when I come back, I will have forgotten all about it and I will listen to it with a fresh set of ears, if this makes sense. The good thing about this is then I can instantly tell what doesn't work, where something sounds odd or some instrument is too loud or too quiet. And I can only do this once, because then of course I will have recalled the song and what everything is supposed to do and to work. So this is why this first listening after a day, after the initial first draft, is so very important. And it's really, I need time and space and need to write everything down that I hear that is not working. Because it's a little bit like with games. A lot of it is just iterating over it and trying to make things better. But if the foundation is already set, at least in my case with this one here, then it's set. I mean, you can only do so much there with the details, because at some point, if you want to tear it open again and say, yeah, maybe midway I want to do a transposition of 4 semitones, and then everything has to go with it, and it starts coming apart. So this is why once I have the foundation, not a lot changes. And with this song, I mean, it's no masterpiece, but I think it's quite nice, and it's just something that you can listen to in the background of something. Like I said, maybe in a future Ludum Dare postmortem. Oh, there's still people awake and active in the chat. Salzburg definitely has something with cool composers. I don't get it. Any others? Oh, you mean Mozart, right? Yeah, Mozart is a little bit more high profile than I am. But at least thank you for calling me a composer. I think, man, maybe I just read into this sentence too much into it. Anyway, I liked it, loved hearing the progress. Oh, thank you so much. Please create a link. Not funny. I get nightmares about starting with nothing. Okay, yeah, I will put it on SoundCloud then, and we'll post the link as a pinned comment to this video for anyone who's interested in this. Thank you so much for sticking with me for way too long. Oh my god, my ears are hurting me because, yeah, my headphones, I got these AKG headphones because they are made in Austria, but then again, they're not even 2 years old and they're already coming apart, so maybe not the best quality. And yeah, my ears hurt and they already have some kind of weird sticky residue coming off, so yeah, didn't do a good pitch for AKG. So again, yeah, thank you so much for watching, for following me on this journey with all my ups and downs. And hey, look at this, even got some guitar music in despite all those pesky crackling there. I will say unicorn just to have a sip of water and see what's going on in the chat. Hello from Sydney, Australia. Oh my god. Greetings to Down Under. Say hello to the koala bears. I don't know what you say to people from Australia, but it's cool. Thank you so much for taking some time of early morning. Must be, what time is it there in Australia? It's really great because here it's close to midnight. A good productive stream. Oh, thank you so much. Made in Austria, coming apart in Austria. Yes. This is made in China, destroyed in Salzburg. One of my friends said with their equipment when they were just throwing it against the wall. Why do I always join when the stream is nearly over? I'm so sorry. Probably because I'm streaming for way too short. Probably, maybe. You know what? Maybe I will mix it up at least sometimes with the streaming date, because I'm quite aware that not everyone can watch the streams, because for some of the people the time when I'm streaming is in the middle of the night for them, or at some other horrible time. So maybe I will on occasion do one stream or 2 streams, I don't know, at a different time or a different day of the week, maybe Saturday at the same time, or also Sunday, but sooner or later, I don't know. The thing is, I will try to that more people who would be interested in it can watch. There's a note repeating now. Man, Frank, I don't know how you make it, but the amount of jokes and puns you manage to tease out of whatever I say, it's just staggering. So congratulations. I wonder how much of your music you just keep on your hard drive and never publish. It's a lot. It's gigabytes. I mean, many of it is just a minute or two where it's just one part of a song, and then say, yeah, maybe I do a B part and the C part and the bridge, and I never manage to get to it. Yeah, but I try to get scraps and bits and pieces of whatever I have, maybe work it in one or other Ludum Dare post-mortem. And this is also when I just come back to stuff where I think, yeah, it's not quite polished, but I want to have it very polished, of course, in the post-mortem, and then do a little bit of timing that everything lines up with the audio. So pretty much most of the songs that I feel like sharing will someday, sooner or later, appear in a Ludum Dare post-mortem. It wasn't a joke, those headphones pressed down a key on it. I'm sorry. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Usually it's the unicorns because they're standing there on the drum pads, but yeah, I'm sorry. You know what? I will click outside the window now, which should deactivate it. So yeah, make it nice for a nice thumbnail. I don't know. Okay, I'm really sorry. As soon as the headphones are off, I have no idea what's going on. I hope I don't have ICQ open and you hear a constant uh-oh sound. Anyone still has ICQ? Man, it's a 2000s thing. Okay, again, I've been talking and wasting your time for over 2 hours and 40 minutes now. Let me get the correct mouse button. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this little journey interesting. This is my process of making music. maybe you can take something out of it, and if nothing else, just see how little actual music theory goes into my music. So again, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of the weekend. Have a great week, and see you maybe next week or the week after. Who knows? There's a lot going on with me. But yeah, we will find out as soon as I go online again. All right, thank you so much. Cheers. And where is the ending screen? This is the one with the airplanes. There we go. Bye.